Across every single LEGO game, there is a total of 472 levels, some being, well, a lot harder than others. So, shall we take a look at the 10 hardest LEGO game levels of all time? Yeah, cue the music.
You shall be the Fellowship of the Ring. So what do we do?
So, hello there guys. First off, within the list I will not be including these custom created levels found in LEGO Harry Potter Years 1 to 4 and LEGO Indiana Jones 2. The list, yes, is in a particular order, so number 1 on the list is what I believe to be the hardest LEGO game level. And well, coming in at number 10 is Chemicals from, well, LEGO Batman 2, and this time it's not the video game, it's just LEGO Batman 2. Now, this level is a little bit different to all the others on the list, as it's not in particularly all too hard in terms of the actual gameplay, it is just a little bit hard to get through. With this level clocking in at a total of 34 minutes to complete, that is if you are pretty fast, this is one of the longest LEGO game levels of all time, and definitely the longest in Batman 2. I mean, you know it is long when there is 4 save checkpoints in a LEGO game level. And hey, in all fairness, this is actually a really astonishing level. It's got loads of puzzle segments alongside parkour segments, and yes, a lot of the time you are just using Robin's hazmat suit, which for some reason when you start to fire the water out, it doesn't go where you're actually firing it. Little bit frustrating. It does, however, instantly kill enemies. This must be the strongest pressure washer I've ever seen. There is a few minor challenging parts to this level, such as where you have to collect green and purple toxic waste for Robin's hazmat suit. The challenging part to this is it doesn't really tell you where to go and get the green toxic waste and the purple toxic waste, so most of the time you're just running around trying to find it. The level for the most part has a wide variety of puzzles using Robin's acrobatic suit, his hazmat suit, Batman's electric suit, Batman's demolition suit, alongside all of Superman's abilities. So in a small regard, it can be a little bit challenging in terms of juggling all of these abilities to complete all of the puzzles, and yes, this is the first level which you actually get Superman as a playable character.
Hi guys.
Wow!
Calm down.
And coming in at number 9 is a level from LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, and that is Darth Vader, and I guarantee you have failed this, and that is this parkour segment. Now, speaking truthfully, the level can actually be completed in around 3 minutes, not even that. The challenge appears at the very beginning of the level, on which you need to follow Anakin as Obi-Wan with a stupidly placed camera, making it extremely difficult to track oncoming obstacles, resulting in you hearing this. And well, depending on how bad you are at this, you're going to hear it over and over again.
Another happy.
Now, this stage of the level can become even more ludicrous, especially if you play co-op. As well, you can't follow the AI. Then after this, the level is relatively simple. It has even more timed segments alongside more parkour. Now, you know what? I need to get this off my chest. It kinda still frustrates me how to this day you see all the studs in this parkour segment, and if you go to collect them, you can't make it back and you just end up dying. So what's the point? Also, before we move on any further, I did forget to mention earlier on, if you did go to enjoy this video, a like would be mega appreciated, as it has took quite a while to make this one, and a subscribe would be even more appreciated. Thank you. Now, I would go to say this next level is easy, but then again, it's not nice to lie.
You're alive. What a delightful surprise.
Well, yeah, you said it yourself, GLaDOS. What a delightful surprise. Coming in at number 8 is, well, Aperture Science from LEGO Dimensions. In all essence, it was definitely a peculiar choice to add Portal into LEGO Dimensions, then again the game is literally based upon portals. Now this level is incredible, while at the same time being rather challenging. If you are a completionist, this level has one of the hardest LEGO game achievements / trophies to acquire. And oh, you think I'm joking? Well, it tasks you in completing Aperture Science within 25 minutes. You know, with only 0.36% of people having this achievement, it kinda shows how challenging it is. And if you do remember the keystone puzzles in LEGO Dimensions, well, this level contains every single keystone puzzle. There is literally a segment where you have to use 5 keystones to solve one singular puzzle, constantly juggling between them. The level includes no enemies at all and is purely centered upon puzzles, which is reminiscent of the game itself, Portal, in a sense. Even the GLaDOS boss battle towards the end requires you to do more keystone puzzles, such as teleporting, colour matching. Then whilst you are doing all of this, you are greeted with the most bizarre cameo of all time. It is HAL 9000 from 2001 A Space Odyssey. Like, what? Oh, you know, LEGO Dimensions, you still carry on surprising me to this day. Hands down the greatest LEGO game. Overall, the level is challenging, with you entering constant chambers one after the other, with more and more puzzles getting progressively more difficult, especially if you are attempting to earn the trophy for completing this level in about 25 minutes. Anyway, on to number 7.
Why do they always leave me?
Hello, guys? Hello? Hello, Rugged. It is now time to let me progress with your video.
Well, that ain't gonna happen, because next up is LEGO Indiana Jones The Original Adventures with, well, the motorcycle escape.
I do not like LEGO Indiana Jones.
Well, it don't matter, does it? Well, I do, so bugger off now. Let me progress. This level is one of the most frustrating levels across all LEGO games, because it doesn't work how it was designed to work. For the majority, half the time, whenever you're about to hit a ramp on your motorcycle, you just end up missing it and falling into the water as it doesn't register you hitting the ramp. I mean, look, it literally took me 2 attempts and I kept failing, and then this time I didn't even hit the ramp properly and it took me over. It baffles me. Then obviously there is the absolute abundance of enemies that come flooding in. This gets progressively worse towards the latter end of the level, where it literally turns into a Michael Bay film and you do not survive at all. Luckily, whenever you wear an enemy's hat in LEGO Indiana Jones as a disguise, whenever you get hit, it does not remove the hat. As in LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, whenever you wear a Stormtrooper's helmet, it obviously removes it when you get hit, and if that was the case here, this level would literally be impossible. And yeah, just to put it into perspective, this is only the beginning stage of this level. You've got to go past all the trip mines on your bike that most of the time just detonate anyway, so you end up getting off your bike to go back on it to try again. And well, going back to what I mentioned earlier, what makes this level so difficult is it doesn't work properly. Now, call me sadistic or call me crazy, but for some reason I actually really love this level on how absurd it can be. I have not even started on the dodgy vehicle mechanics. It literally took me ages to position my bike over this big orange panel. And well, it is now the final stage of the level, and I don't really need to explain this one because you can clearly see what's happening. It is just chaos. I mean, I do love the level in this sense, but for the most part it is very difficult. You've got constant enemies flooding in alongside dodgy vehicle controls, and talking about dodgy vehicle controls, oh, this yellow little car. Next up is LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga with another escape level, and that is the Death Star escape. The level starts off with the good old trash compactor, and I was always a little bit disappointed in LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, as you kinda just exit the trash compactor straight away. And now in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, we have an entire boss battle in there, which was awesome.
Get in there, you big furry hoe! I don't care what you smell!
Once you have exited the trash compactor, you then end up in this room. Does it look familiar? For a minor few seconds, there is a little bit of fun to be had here when you tear off all the Stormtroopers' arms as Chewbacca, and then you are left with the yellow little car. Oh, this little car. The handling on this car is shocking. It's abysmal.
Personally, I like the yellow car.
Well, there's no surprise there, is there? Driving over these little square red panels is one of the worst experiences I've ever had in a LEGO game. Half the time you drive over it, they all go green and it doesn't even register it. And the little yellow car does make a return at the end of the level, but that time it's not as bad because you can drive against the railing.
Is that not cheating?
In this instance, no, it's not cheating, it's just a better way. Going back to what I mentioned earlier, whenever you wear a Stormtrooper's helmet within LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, if your character does get hit, you lose the helmet. In a very similar case to the motorcycle escape, there is a ludicrous amount of enemies flooding in, but this time you cannot get hit. And well, this is the other challenging aspect to this level. As say, if you do get hit, you will need to trace back to an earlier stage of the level to find the helmet machine to equip another one, then head all the way back to activate the panel. Then there is the final stage of the level, which again has loads of enemies flooding in, and the puzzles aren't very clear in what you need to do, but it can be solved in around 5 minutes, and then the level is over.
Please, Rugged, can I do the next one?
Right, I'm turning you off, you're doing me head in, as next up is LEGO Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars with the Zillo Beast. And this is at number 5. Now, just before we move on any further, I just want to say a massive thank you to OwnASaber because they have an absolute insane deal happening. Now, I do love myself a good old lightsaber, and OwnASaber's lightsabers are really well made, and you really feel the weight behind them, and I recently just got the Gleaming Hope saber, and you can clearly see it, I don't need to explain it. And no joke, they literally have an insane deal happening right now. You pretty much can get yourself a free saber. All the details are on the screen here alongside in the description. And it just so appears I have been recently upgrading my office and I cannot wait to put them on their display stands in my office because they just look so good. Looks like someone ain't too happy. In regard to the Zillo Beast, this level is based upon the entire gameplay system of the Galactic Assault ground battles, specially designed for LEGO Star Wars 3. Now, depending on how you personally tackle these ground assaults, it can really vary on how quickly these can be completed. Surprisingly, these ground assaults have numerous layers to them in terms of difficulty. I really like how sometimes it requires you to go on foot to enter the enemy's base, to well switch off their shield generator, then get back in your vehicle that can destroy silver objects, and then get the infamous RX-200 tank to destroy the golden objects. And with there being so many ways to go about tackling these ground assaults, you don't even need the RX-200 tank, you can use a load of clone troopers to destroy the golden objects. And well, for a LEGO game, these ground battles do require quite a bit of skill and strategic play. And this isn't the most difficult part of the level, though it is a little bit challenging. The difficult part is the Zillo Beast. The only hint you get in this boss battle is you need an RX-200 tank, but it doesn't tell you how to get an RX-200 tank. Now, I admit, when I was younger, I got stuck on this boss battle for ages because I didn't know you needed to place down a turret on all of the different sections to be able to spawn in an RX-200 tank. Now, depending on how well you did in the earlier section of the level, that being the ground assault, you may have quite a lot of studs left to be able to spawn in the turrets quickly, but if you do not have a lot of studs left, you literally have to wait around for ages collecting studs. This being so you can spawn in a barrage of cannons to then get access to the RX-200 tank, and then again, you need even more studs because the RX-200 tank costs 20,000 studs and you need to spawn in a few of them. Considering all of the factors, this has to be one of the hardest LEGO game levels. You have the strategic ground assault battle at the very beginning alongside the Zillo Beast at the very end. Now, making its way just outside the top 3 is a level from LEGO Indiana Jones The Original Adventures, and that is level 4 from the Temple of Doom. Dun, 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 dun. You've gotta love a bit of John. Now, in a very similar instance to the Zillo Beast, this level really suffers in not being clear at all to the player. The best example being when you need to use Indiana Jones's whip to transport this handle across these platforms. Obviously, not to forget, the animation can sometimes cause you to fall off these platforms too. And again, the level is very unclear, even towards the latter end of the level when you are fighting the boss. In terms of how you go to defeat the boss, you need to use dynamite, but there is no indication at all to use the dynamite, so for the majority you're just kind of running around figuring out how to defeat the boss because it gives you no indication to use the dynamite. As earlier on in this final stage, you do go to use the dynamite to break short round out of a metal cage, so it doesn't really cross your mind to, well, use it again. And throughout the level, they are constantly hiding shovels and spanners behind stuff, so you have to destroy everything in your vicinity to try and find them. This level becomes so difficult to complete and really is one of the hardest LEGO game levels, resulting in you looking up a guide most of the time just on how unclear the entire level is. Now, I do love a bit of John Williams, but while you are struggling to figure out what to do next, all you can hear in the background is this. It is literally that same chorus over and over again. Anyway, making its way into number 3 is the 1 million stud bonus levels. From here on, this is where the levels become really difficult in terms of LEGO game standards. Bonus levels have been a staple in LEGO games ever since the original LEGO Star Wars, from the young Indy bonus level in LEGO Indiana Jones to the Pirates of the Caribbean ride bonus level and many more. And well, the most iconic of the lot is the 1 million stud bonus level. With a absolute abundance of them, I've decided to, well, compile them all into one spot. So, these levels can be extremely frustrating, as it always results in you running around with around 90% of the studs collected, looking for the last 10%. Depending on the LEGO game, some of them can take upwards of around 30 minutes to complete, and at the end of the day, yes, they are bonus levels, so they should challenge the player. And this is exactly why they can be some of the most challenging LEGO game levels of them all, as most of the time studs can be literally hidden behind anything. Personally, my favourite is the Lord of the Rings one, just walking around mini Middle-earth as Sauron. Oof. I mean, look, you've got mini Isengard, mini Minas Tirith, mini Mordor, mini Helm's Deep. Oh, I'm just trying to keep my sanity sane, as next up is LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga with the Pod Race. Oh, I bet you knew this one were going to be on the list, didn't you? Now, for a LEGO game designed in particularly for a younger audience, the Pod Race Original is a really challenging level. In all sense, I actually really enjoy this level over just how tense it can become, constantly racing against the timer, trying to hit the multiple speed boosts, weaving through a barrage of blaster bolts fired from the Tusken Raiders above the canyon. Then the canyon starts to collapse on the third lap, not to forget the field of detonators before the finish line too. Oh, and if you do fail any of these, you are left with this cutscene. Yeah, there is no denying at all this level isn't challenging, with multiple ways to fail, such as losing against the timer, crashing, being shot out by the Tuskens. This level has gone down in the history of LEGO games to be one of the hardest LEGO game levels today. If you did decide to play this on co-op too, it can become even more difficult, and well, I recommend disconnecting the other player to save yourself the hassle. In my eyes, this is one of my favourite LEGO game levels. Yes, I know, I love the challenge, and it isn't like the #1 spot on the list, which is designed to be awful. This level can be completed very easily with enough practice. After a few attempts, if you do fail, you will become accustomed very quickly to the layout of the map, making this level a lot more easier over time, unlike the #1 spot. Let's just take 2 seconds before we move on. Okay then, here we go. Coming in as the hardest LEGO game level of all time is Gunship Cavalry from LEGO Star Wars the video game and LEGO Star Wars the Complete Saga. Oh, this level, it is so difficult. Now, I forgot how hard this level can be. Obviously, I knew it was one of the hardest levels, but I had to replay it for the footage, and well, it turned out like this. This being the original version of Gunship Cavalry, and again, yes, it was a bonus level in the Complete Saga. This to me is a lot more difficult compared to the pod race, because if a Hailfire droid tank gets behind you, there isn't any possible way to get behind him and take him down without resulting in your own demise. Then you have the constant lasers turning on and off, and it becomes even more ridiculous, and the map gets smaller as you progress through the wasteland of Geonosis. The camera within this entire level is prominently to blame for making this overly complicated level even more disastrous, as it works as a barrier, constantly moving forward to make you progress with the level, leaving little to no time at all to think about a strategy. Leaving you, well, to weave in and out of the lasers turning on and off alongside all the Hailfire tanks getting behind you. I did find a nice little tactic, however, for this level, as if you hold down the fire button, it only fires at this pace. However, rapidly clicking the button results in your fire rate becoming doubled, making it a lot easier to mow down the onslaught of Hailfire tanks. Oh, and the level is not done yet as you move on to stage 2, which isn't as bad but still is a pain. Due to the fire rate tactic I just showed you, this area becomes a lot more simpler, as it does have a timer and you need to be fast in destroying the generators, or you'll have to do it all again. Looking over this entire level, you can clearly see why this level is so hard, and I am sure many of you guys have experienced the pain of Gunship Cavalry. Yeah, making it by far the hardest LEGO game level to ever exist. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. A like would be mega appreciated because this video did take quite some time to make, and please go into the comments and let me know which levels you struggled with. Oh yeah, and if you are new around here, make sure you subscribe, go on. If you want to check out any of my other LEGO game videos, there'll be a playlist here for you and a video that I recommend you check out. Anyway, I'll see you all in a bit. Adios.